Hi, welcome back to the Wilson Anchor News. This is your Anchorman Teddy Andrews. Today we are here with Mrs. Mahar to talk about the Kindness Program. Mrs. Mahar, how did the Kindness Program start?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. The Kindness Program was born last spring, and I'm sure, we've all come through the pandemic, and it's been a really difficult time for everybody. So there were two events last spring, though, that really prompted and inspired this program. One was the shooting at Tops, which happened right in our backyard in Buffalo, and the other was the violence that happened in Uvalde. And I think a lot of people really felt helpless. Anytime anything like that happens, you feel, like, what can I do about it? So about 20 staff members here at Wilson decided that when we came into the 2022-23 year, we really wanted to focus on kindness and coming back to the basics and making sure that we checked in with one another and treated each other with respect and caring, and just did everything that we possibly could to make sure that we were taking care of one another and had some emphasis on mental health. So that was kind of the inspiration for the program.
I really enjoy this. This is so amazing for what you guys are doing for the students.
Oh, thanks, Teddy.
Now, how did the shirts come about for the Kindness Program?
Do you remember after the violence happened at Tops, you remember how the Bills and the Sabres wore the Choose Love shirts?
Yes.
That was the inspiration for our kindness shirts. So you can see that kindness is the big font across the top. And when you saw those Bills and those Sabres together, just by all of them wearing the shirts together, it was kind of a promise to one another and a show of solidarity that we are going to choose love. We hope that you choose love too. So that was the inspiration behind the shirts. But to buy 300 shirts, then we needed some funding. So I really have to give a shout out to the shared decision making team, who has a grant funding program. They kicked in some money. The Middle School Wilson PTSA kicked in a lot of money too. So that was two groups that kicked in, and then the third group to kick in money was the Middle School Student Council. And between those three groups, we purchased about 310 shirts that were free, so you didn't have to pay a thing for your shirt. All of the staff in the middle school, all of the staff in the Kindness Program, there's about 20 of us working together to make this happen, and every single student in middle school was able to receive a shirt for free. So thank you to those three groups for making this shirts possible.
That is amazing that the school will provide shirts for us students. Now, what activities have we done so far?
So part of what we decided at the 20 teachers is we wanted to make this more than just wearing shirts. So on the kindness days, we just had our first kindness day yesterday, where we encourage all of the kids to wear their shirts, all the kids and staff. We also want to make sure that on each grade level you are doing some things that have to do with kindness. So in 6th grade yesterday, what did Mrs. Reagan do in your classroom?
Mrs. Reagan read us some books, and she also made us do bookmarks, and we made one for ourselves. We're giving 2 away to the libraries, and then we also made one for somebody we wanted to give them away for kindness.
Yeah, so I think that was great. So Mrs. Reagan had her students read, yes, I have it written down. Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson, which is a great book. You made bookmarks, and you're going to give them away. And the 8th graders in Mr. Alderman's class did some kindness posters that they are going to display throughout the school. Mrs. Bell in the cafeteria, did you buy your lunch yesterday?
No.
Oh, you didn't! You could have had a free cookie, so thank you to Mrs. Bell. I think she gave away 109 cookies yesterday, and she did a count for us in the cafeteria as well. Do you want to take a guess how many kids wore their shirts yesterday? Let's estimate that there's about 80 kids per grade level.
80 kids per grade. So
that's 240-ish.
Yeah, I would assume around 230.
Pretty close. That's a lot. I think that's aiming high, but we had 142, which actually is really, really good for kids wearing their shirts. And of course, all of the staff wore their shirts too. So those were some of the activities that we had happening yesterday.
I can't wait for the next activity. Now, when is our next kindness day?
So we have tentative plans for the next kindness day to happen. Do you know you have a half day on November 23rd?
No.
So November 23rd, right before Thanksgiving, we're going to have a half day. In the morning, I think we're going to have a Kindness Rocks concert, actually featuring some current, just like last night. So you were at the variety show last night.
Yes, I was.
So I think we're going to have some of those kids return and put on a show. And we'll do that in the morning, and then we are going to have, this will be your first turkey trot because you're in 6th grade.
Yes.
I think this is the 3rd year that we have actually done the turkey trot. So we'll start with a Kindness Rocks program in the morning, and then the turkey trot in the afternoon, and that will be the next day that I think we wear our kindness t-shirts.
The shirts have been really good. Is there a plan to make another batch of shirts?
Actually, the shirts have been so popular that a lot of people in the high school have asked, how can I get a shirt? So Mrs. Seeley up in the high school has plans. She's going to contact the vendor, and hopefully we are going to do another round of shirts. The goal for this eventually is to really bring this kindness program beyond the walls of the school and involve the community. So hopefully we are going to make more shirts available, and fingers crossed that we will have them available by the November 23rd, the next day that we wear them. So I think that's it.
I can't wait to see the community join in on the fun. That will conclude this interview. This is your news anchorman, Teddy Andrews.